Welcome to another session of Ask Nati. Today, a question that I got in Twitter. Let me read the question. So the question is, please, sir, what you can say about job redesign with regards to organization performance. So first of all, just to make sure that we're on the same page, job redesign is the process of understanding what are the responsibilities and requirements of a certain job and try to shuffle it between different jobs or between different people in order to enhance the performance of a certain group or a certain organization. That's the high level, the definition of job redesign. So my call on that and how it's related to company performance or organization performance. So first and foremost, I would say that I think the whole concept of job or job description or a role are bogus, really bogus. And I think what we're using now as a basic element or basic element that count, that matter in organization structure is a role. But a role is something that with us for many years and has one major flaw, or actually two major flaws. The first flaw of a job or a job description is that it created to show how a person is going to fill his time to support the company. So what a person is going to do in order to support the company. And by doing that, the focus is not what's good for the company. The focus is what certain person or type of person needs to do in order to support the company, but it's focused on the person, and in reality it's being used more than everything else for legal reasons. The second problem is that it's too big, it's convoluted, and it's hard to maintain. So if you look at each and every role, you'll find out that in the description someone is responsible for many assets that the company that is managing on behalf of the company or for the company. And if you will, I have some technical difficulties with the lights. So it's going to be an interesting one side. Okay, it's back to normal. Anyway, if you look at the definition, you find out of a definition of a role, you find out plenty of assets, which means that you can actually break a job description into something we call functions. And functions are smaller. They are usually around certain asset that someone is being managed. So it's actually all the responsibilities around a certain asset, whether it's a virtual or physical asset, that someone needs to manage for a company. So putting those two together, if you want to redesign better your organization, the first thing that you need to do is to break this monolithic job description into smaller pieces which are functions. A, it's easier to maintain a function. B, it's focused on what the organization needs in order to reach its success. And C, it enables a lot of freedom and flexibility when you want to redesign your organization. So that's the first point that I want to deliver. Stay away from job description, break them into functions. Now, once you have functions that are actually created to support a certain purpose of a certain group, and a purpose of a group was set up to be directly derived from the purpose of the company, now you have a set of functions that you know that was set up to support the company. So the basic starting point is much better. You design or you defined a set of functions that are going to support purpose instead of set of definitions that needs to prove that someone is going to work full-time or most of his time on something that we believe but we can prove is good for the company. So just by doing that, I think that you're going to improve significantly company performance. You're going to improve it significantly because you know that all the functions that you have are geared now toward one goal. And the goal is to reach a predefined company purpose. The second thing is that by doing that, now you have much more smaller building blocks that you can play. So if in the beginning you have very big building blocks that you can rigidly build something from them, now you broke them into much more smaller, much more smaller pieces that you can combine together in different ways, and you can create different puzzles or different structures very easily in order to support the ongoing change of an organization, what we like to call agility. And I think that's more important than anything else, because this agility enables each and every organization not just to create a set of functions that support its purpose. As its purpose moves over time, as it's experiencing issues from the environment, it enabled the organization to be much more tuned and to be able to perform much better to threats and changes from the outside world. So that's all. I can ramble for hours. You see, it's something that I'm pretty passionate about it. I believe that if you take the job description and you break them into functions, you will create something that can actually help your company performance. But with the core job description, I believe that you're simply wasting your time. No one is going to keep them up to date. No one is following them. They're just records that exist in some file in order to prove that someone was something and someone, like for legal perspective, it really doesn't matter. Let's not get into all the details. So 8 minutes rambling, I think it's too much. I hope that I managed to answer the question. I'll post it and let's see if people have any comments or ideas on top of what I just rambled for 8 minutes. Bye.